one thing we need to remember is that when we're in a relationship of any type, it's not me versus you. If we're both in a relationship, right, we're sitting here, it's not me versus you. However, we have to say that iron sharpens iron, the Bible talks about that. So while it isn't me versus you, I should be sharpening you and you should be sharpening me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we're throwing blows and knock one another out. Like, there's such thing as a sparring session, if you're talking about boxing, where your opponent or the person that you're trying to get better, your brother or your sister, you're trying to make them better, you're trying to improve them, you're trying to upgrade them. But there's another thing when you're throwing those punches to knock them out completely. Very rarely in sparring sessions. I mean, sometimes it gets a little out of hand, but generally speaking, they're not trying to throw punches to knock one another out. If they knock one another out, it's just a byproduct of a good sparring session. And I think that when we're in relationships, we need to have good sparring sessions, but we should not be throwing those punches to knock one another out. So while it is an instance where we can go head to head or toe to toe, but when we go toe to toe, just make sure we're fighting fairly. Make sure that we're not throwing those punches that we know can knock one another out, but we're sharpening one another. We're making each other into the best version of ourselves. So while it's not me versus you, it's me and you versus the world, versus temptation, versus the struggles that we have that we're going to overcome together. We can help one another overcome individually and also the ones that we need to overcome together. So it's important for us to remember that it's not me versus you in relationships. Let's take on the word together and win.